Munster hosting Leinster. Finally, this game was postponed a while back, but we are getting to see these two teams in the Pro 14 with identical records, as far as I could tell. Go head to head. I've been away for a week. Told by my boss I needed to use some of my annual leave, and the first game I'm going to see back after missing rugby for a few days is Munster and Leinster. So, lucky me, man. That's a bit of a reward, isn't it? So, yeah, man, it's 7:35 on Saturday over in Ireland, which makes it 8:35 in the morning over here, which is a pretty good time to watch rugby. It's breakfast and whatnot time. So, yeah, man, it should be a cracking one. I'll go through the predictions, the lineups briefly for this one, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how this one is going to go. Like I said, I looked up their Pro 14 records, and if you guys have watched my channel for a while, you know I don't watch the Pro 14 week in, week out. I try to catch games here and there where I can. But if what I read was true, both of these sides have an 8-win, 1-loss record. But in Munster's conference, in Conference B, that's good enough for first, with Connacht being in second and 5 wins and 4 losses. Whereas in Conference A, where Leinster is sitting, it is not good enough for first because Ulster have a 10-win, 1-loss record. So a bit of pressure on Leinster to pick up a win, because I think the way the Pro 14 is working this year, there's not really as much room for error. It's pretty much straight into the business end, isn't it? So yeah, it should be a pretty good game. And like I said, this game was postponed, I think mistakenly, right, with some false positives or something for COVID a while back. So yeah, man, hopefully this time everything goes according to plan and we get a pretty cracking game. Looking at both the squads, man, there's bloody Irish internationals everywhere, which is perhaps the kind of to be expected whenever Leinster and Munster go head to head. A few other internationals as well, but I'll go through the squads quickly. Very experienced Munster front row with James Cronin, Reece Marshall, and John Ryan. A lot of caps between those three guys. Jean Klein and Tyke Byrne are the second row pairing. So, again, Irish internationals, both of them. Tyke Byrne, I always liked him because he fills that gap of, he's that lock who can play loose forward as well. So he's a bit of a mean man at the breakdown, which is an additional thing. Not all locks can do that. I know he kind of flirts between the two positions, but he does it pretty bloody well. Gavin Coombs is a guy who I've only seen a bit recently. Like, it was only a few months ago that I was probably asking the question, man, who's this Gavin Coombs guy? Now I know who Gavin Coombs is. He's a very effective Lucy. I look forward to seeing more of him. Peter O'Mahony's still there at number 7, and he is captain. Always looking out for him at line-out time. He will keep the Leinster guys on their toes, especially seeing as there's no Devon Toner. His ability to steal that ball usually could be countered by Devon Toner's extra height, the ability to keep that ball safe. But especially with Sean Cronin starting as well. And I know his line-out throwing can be a bit scattergun, so Peter O'Mahony will have his eyes lighting up at the chance of pinching some ball. CJ Stander's in his 150th game as well, which is a hell of a record for him. Been quite the servant for the province. Murray and Hanrahan are 9 and 10. I'm a bit disappointed not to see Healy, but Hanrahan will still do the job. Healy's on the bench. Damien Delinde and Chris Farrell is a beefy midfield as per usual. And Shane Daly, Keith Earls, and Mike Haley are the back three. So, yeah, man. A lot of Irish internationals, like I mentioned. Damien Delinde, World Cup winner with South Africa. Ben Healy's on the bench. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Likewise, Craig Casey. These guys seem to be the future of Munster rugby. So the more minutes I can see of them, the happier I'll be. That's not to say that I'm throwing any shade at Conor Murray and JJ Hanrahan. But I want to see the young guys get some minutes as well. I'm sure they will. For Leinster, it's Cian Healy, Sean Cronin, and Andrew Porter. Again, pretty experienced front row. I would love to see Cronin get into some space. I know he does that pretty well. So, yeah, if he can get the line-out secure, that'll be kind of his main focus for this game, though, I would have imagined. Scott Fardy and James Ryan are your locks. Reece Ruddock, Will Connors, and Caelan Doris round out the back row. Ruddock, the experienced guy, he's been getting a lot of plaudits from what I've seen, at least in recent times. People saying he should be in that Irish setup pretty regularly with the form that he's been in. Connors obviously has been in the Irish setup recently, likewise Caelan Doris. Proper, full skill number 8, and Connors with those big old tackles of his. McGrath and Sexton are 9-10, so McGrath... Was he playing the last time I saw Leinster play? Or was he out? I feel like he might have been out, but I could be mistaken. Sexton did go off the last time I saw him play. He only played 10, 15 minutes? Hopefully he's back 100% fit. He is captain. Henshaw and Ringrose. So Ringrose is back. That's a pretty... Whenever you see Leinster play in recent years, it's always those two guys in the midfield, isn't it? So, yeah, that's it's a kind of a different feeling from the Munster midfield, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I haven't looked up the height and weight, but I feel like the kilos is probably with the Munster guys. But speed and skill, maybe you give it to the Leinster guys. I don't know. The Munster guys are not exactly lacking in skill either. Jimmy O'Brien, Jordan Lama, and Hugo Keenan round out the back three. Speaking of speed with old Jordan Lama, it's a pretty useful looking back three for Leinster as well. Hugo Keenan's not the tallest guy, so it'll be interesting to see how he does under some of the high balls. If Murray is going to feed him some box kicks, we'll see how he handles it with some of the Munster guys putting him under a bit of pressure, I'm sure. Gibson Park's on the bench. Ross Byrne. They've only gone with the two backs because Josh van der Fleer is in the 23 jersey. So I think, didn't Ross Byrne play in the midfield a little while ago? So I guess he's going to be expected to cover the majority of the back line if he gets a crack. Jack Conan's there. Ed Byrne, Callagher, and whatnot. So, yeah, good to see Ringrose back. Good to see Stander get his 150th. Good to see this game just get underway, man, after it being postponed the last time. And interestingly, in terms of the predictions, the bookies over here in New Zealand are picking Leinster by 2 to get the win away. Whereas Rugby Forecast algorithm, which looks at the head-to-head fixtures and results and overall results of the teams, the form and whatnot, that's actually got Munster by 4. And it does weight the home advantage. I don't know about how strongly, but I know it weights the home advantage. And without fans, it's kind of a hard one to gauge. But anyway, it's a split. And usually the bookies and the forecast algorithm kind of go the same way. But this one's a split. So either Leinster by 2 or Munster by 4. Hopefully that means we're in for a close game. I will take it. I'm a neutral for this one. I don't really mind who wins it. But yeah, let's hope for a good game. You guys let me know your thoughts on this one. Any other guys that are out of contention, injured, any of the other younger guys you're excited to kind of see hopefully get some minutes? They both seem like pretty strong lineups to me. I know there's been some talk of Tyke Furlong coming back soon, but I noticed he's not in the lineup. I noticed there's no Dan Levy. I'm not sure if that's a rotation or if he's back injured. Goodness me, I hope he's not injured. But anyway, still no Joey Carberry. I think he's long-term, isn't he? So, yeah, we'll see how things go. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. Talk to you again soon. See you later.